Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Ghost of Aragian. I'm Sel, and today I'm going to be showcasing Treewolf's Taranis Consume build. Now, before we get started, I want to say that normally, all builds on the channel are 100% original, but Tree has based this on a concept build made by Speed Demon, whose original build video I will link below. This build by Tree is a slight variation of what Speed Demon has made. Now with that being said, let's jump into the build. First up, we have our Sunflare Destiny, a double primary weapon that can only be found in ATOT. For this weapon, we want double the Rehear Shame primary on it. That primary unleashes a shockwave every time you hit an enemy with a shock on them. Secondaries you want are crit damage, double that, and then add crit chance as your last upgrade. Beside that is our secondary weapon, the Trusty Seath, an epic longsword that can be found anywhere. Its primary gives us the greater blessing of luck when we inflict an ailment. This means it increases our crit chance when we inflict an ailment. Secondaries you want are crit damage, double that, and then add crit chance as your last upgrade. Below that is the Methra, a double primary charm that can be found while only fighting Moirax from the Fire and Darkness DLC. The primaries you want are gain weapon charge on crit, and apply the mark of fragility when you inflict an ailment. This will increase the amount of damage the enemy takes. Secondaries you want are crit damage, double that, and then add crit chance as your last upgrade. Beside that we have our Kaeda, a legendary amulet that can be found in the Lightbringer game mode. Keep in mind it will need Uncursed 3 times before you can upgrade and use it. You can do this by completing the objectives listed at the bottom of the item. Its primary gives us more shield charge speed and shield damage for each capped resistance that we have. Secondaries you want are crit damage and ailment power. Double ailment power and then add shield charge speed as your last upgrade. We want to use this because we will be consuming with our shield timing attack that you can spec into in the skill tree. Below that we have our Heavenly Reversal. This is a rare ring that can only be found in the Lightbringer game mode. Keep in mind when you first receive it, it will have to be uncursed by completing the objective at the bottom of the item. Its primary allows us to consume with our timing attacks and has our timing attacks deal more damage. Secondaries you want are ailment power and ailment duration. Double ailment power and then add weapon tech damage as your last upgrade. Beside that is the Nikolai's Hail. This is an epic ring that can only be found in the Lightbringer game mode. Its primary gives us overhealth for every 1000 damage dealt when we consume. Secondaries we want are plus cap to resistances and damage to shocked enemies. Double damage to shocked enemies and then add 2 resistances as your last upgrade. Below that is the Plague Pennant. This is a rare banner that can be found anywhere. Keep in mind its primal version can only be found in ATOT. Its primary gives us more ailment power and increases our damage for each ailment on the enemy. Secondaries you want are ailment power and ailment duration. Double ailment power and then add ailment power again as your last upgrade. Last but not least is our Lifestone, the Bead of Hardened Ethereum. It's an uncommon item that can be found anywhere. Its primary increases our ailment power. Secondaries you want are ailment power, double that, and then again add ailment power as your last upgrade. Now, before we jump into skills, here's a few more clips from this build's boonless run. Here we have Treewolf's Augment setup. First up is the Star Waves Augment, a rare augment that can only be found in the Lightbringer game mode. Its primary increases our shock duration, but it takes away health recovery. Secondaries you want are Ailment Power, double that and then add resistances as your last upgrade. Beside that is Austere Radiance, another item that can only be found in the Lightbringer game mode. Its primary increases our shock power if we have at least 60% air resistance. Secondaries you want are Ailment Power, double that, and then add 2 resistances as your last upgrade. Beside that is our Presence of Mind. This is a legendary augment that can be found anywhere, but for this build to work you need to have the primal version. Its primary increases our resistances depending on how much vitality we have on adjacent augments. This means augments directly connected to this one with vitality. Secondaries you want are Ailment Power, double that and then add resistances again as your last upgrade. Keep in mind the primal version can only be found in ATOT. Below that is the Focus Augment, a rare augment that can be found anywhere. Keep in mind primal versions can only be found in ATOT. Its primary gives us overhealth when we crit. Secondaries you want are Ailment Duration, double that and then add weapon tech damage as your last upgrade. Beside that is Twilight Bloom, an epic augment that can be found anywhere. This gives us a base increase to our weapon tech damage if at least 2 adjacent augments are red. Secondaries you want are Ailment Power, double that and then add weapon tech damage as your last upgrade. Beside that is the Paradise Augment, a rare augment that can be found anywhere. Its primary increases our weapon charge whenever we crit. Secondaries you want are Ailment Duration, double it, and then add weapon tech damage as the last upgrade. Above that is Lucid Vision, a rare augment that can be found anywhere. Its primary restores health when we hit an enemy with our shield. Secondaries you want are Ailment Power, double that, and then add air damage as your last upgrade. Beside that is our Rift Augment. This is a rare augment that can be found anywhere. Its primary increases our base damage for each type of ailment on the enemy. Secondaries you want are Overhealth Gained, double that and then add resistances as your last upgrade. Last but certainly not least is the Glamour Augment. This is an epic augment that can be found on anywhere area. Its primary increases our damage for each type of ailment on the enemy. Secondaries you want are Overhealth Gained and Ailment Power. Double Overhealth Gained and add 2 resistances as your last upgrade. Now, let's jump on over into Treewolf's skill tree. Here we have Treewolf's skill tree. He is fully spec'd into Weapon Techniques, Soul Shatter, Vitality, 1 into Shield Attacks, 4 into Shield Throw, 1 into Weapon Timing, 2 into Sundering Slam, all into crit chance, all into crit damage, all into resistance, all into spirit, all into rampage, all into ailments, recovery, weak points, 1 into polarity attacks, all into all stats, 3 into takedowns, and 1 into finesse. Well, that's all for this build. Again, big shout out to Speed Demon for the original concept for this build. I will have his video linked in the description below. I'd also like to invite all of you to the GODSLAYERS gaming community, which I will also link below in the pinned comment and the description. Thank you all so much for watching. Tomorrow, I have my first part of my 3-part loot guide coming out. The guide will be all about weapons. I can't wait for you to all see it. Thank you again for all the support, and until next time, take care.